we didn't get a chance to hear what your 3 takeaways were coming out of Week 14 of the NFL season. Every week we've been able to do this, and obviously you rank the top 5 performing offensive lines every single week, and I love that. And honestly, we'll do that later today. But what are your 3 takeaways that we need to be talking about from Week 14 that maybe hasn't had enough spotlight, AQ Shipley? Burrow-Chase, the dynamic duo. And look, you got LSU to LSU, Cincinnati to Cincinnati. You know, I had Darius Butler say yesterday, and I don't know if he said this on air or off air, he goes, this Jamar Chase might be the one.
He might be the one.
He might be the one when it's all said and done. Well, Joey Burrow knows that since college. What are we not talking about enough, you think, AQ?
These two are incredible, and Joe Burrow in any other given year would probably be the MVP of the league. His numbers are ridiculous. To this point right now, he's thrown for 3,706 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 6 picks. 93 catches for 1,319 yards and 15 touchdowns for Jamar Chase.
3,706, that's a big number, brother.
3,706.
I mean, that's a big number, brother.
Big number.
What are some plays that we have here to shot?
So this first one, we saw this play. Everybody knows this play. But here, he avoids Micah Parsons, steps up, and just drops it on a dime because he loves out routes to this guy. It's unbelievable how many out routes. You saw it later in the game with the touchdown on the out route to the front pylon. They are constantly, and their timing is impeccable with these two. And then, a little bit later,
out route.
Winner, chicken dinner.
See ya.
Shout out cover for the Cincinnati Bengals. Needed that. Okay, absolutely needed that. D-Butch, why does he always get over? Because they're scared he's going to go.
I mean, this game, way too much single coverage. Like, you have to double team that guy. He's a game wrecker in and out. But the thing about Chase, he can impact you on all levels of the offense, from the screen route to the intermediate pass game, and obviously he can take the top off of defense. So he has all the tools, and obviously on the same page with his college QB.
The more impressive thing, though, is the fact that they're not chunking it down the field to him all the time. It's the ones that you throw the quick screen, the wide receiver screen, or the 10-yard out that he turns it into 50 or 60.
He runs all routes in the tree.
Yeah.
And that's a weapon, especially because a DB can't just guess or know or have a tell. You know, some wide receivers, they know what routes they run. Hey, this guy runs 3 routes, right? Am I speaking out of pocket here?
Correct.
Boom. Jamar, with his explosion, with his capability, and his work ethic, he runs everything, and Joe finds him on everything.
That's right.
T. Higgins also being on the field, good news, right?
Good news.
Have another guy that they have to at least pay attention to helps Jamar Chase a lot, to your point about the one-on-one.
Yeah, always good news, but it starts with with Jamar. So I'm sure T. Higgins probably, would benefit from having him on the field a lot more. But anytime you have more weapons on the field, it helps whoever that primary weapon is. But you build the passing game around a guy like Jamar Chase.
D-Butch really likes Jamar Chase.
Loves him.
I mean, him and Jefferson, they're kind of in the tier of their own. They were in school together. Obviously, Jamar was 1A, Jefferson was 1B, and they kind of go back and forth now. But, yeah, when you watch him, like you heard Tomlin kind of talk about him on, I think, the first episode of Hard Knocks. Like, hey, this guy, he's going to run the grass because and Burrow's just going to find it. It could be a dig route, it could be a bang, it could be whatever. He can read the coverage, get to a space, 9 puts it on him. And to AQ's point, once he catches the ball, it's almost like the beginning of another play. Now you got to rally and really tackle this guy because if you see him, he's a big dude, well-built dude.
They are a dynamic duo, aren't they? That's a winner right there. Stops on a dime, cuts back in. Corner's sitting on his ass. Jamar Chase just covered for the Cincinnati Bengals. We appreciate it. What's the number 2 thing we should be talking about? How about Purdy's back? Guess who's back? Back again. Purdy's back.
Tell a friend.
Should we?
We should. Purdy's back. 20 of 25 for 325 yards.
Whoa.
Guy's unbelievable. I have loved this guy since he came into the league, but I was told by some other talking heads that without Ayuk, without CMC, without Trent Williams, without both running backs, without all these guys, he couldn't do it. 20 of 25, 325 yards, and making plays. Watch this. Look at this. Look at that pump fake. Fakes the wheel. Drops it to Kittle in the hole.
Is
Unbelievable.
that Rich Gannon pump fake right there?
Watch that. Look at that. He's trying to hit the wheel.
Shades of Rich.
Is that awesome?
Yeah, it's awesome.
He was trying to hit the wheel and then finds Kittle in the hole, which, by the way, Kittle had 150-something yards. Unbelievable game by him. Next one's unbelievable. We get a pressure off the left side, right? Free hitter. Fade away. Throw it to a spot. You know he's going to be there. All the way down to the 1-yard line.
Should have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
You got
should have been. Just roll a little faster.
Yeah, and then this one.
This one's incredible, too. You get the play-action pass. when you get the play action, here you go. Let's roll out. Let's throw back across to Jawan Jennings, who has become their number one receiver because you might as well say we haven't had Deebo Samuel. He's only getting 2 touches and 20 yards. He's pissed off about it. Everybody's pissed off. But without all their top dogs that he has become the guy about, that we have said he can't win without, he's seemingly finding ways to win over.
He's a good player. It's not just gimmicks, what you're saying.
He's a stud, and he should get every penny he deserves. He's unbelievable.
No,
That's not what they're saying.
I know.
Well,
I hear the
this
talking
guy.
guys.
Yeah,
I do appreciate the fact that all the scouts and personnel that missed on him, Brock Purdy, their opinion still carries so much weight that people will just be like, remember, this guy last pick in the draft. Like, everybody's waiting for him to almost come back down to earth as opposed to being like, hey, this guy was improperly read coming out of college. This guy is an NFL quarterback because they can't figure out right here. Now, is the Shanahan offense good for him? Sure. You put him with KOC, though?
I think he'll be just fine.
Whoa.
I assume he'd be A-OK over there. I think if you put him in Arthur Smith's, you put him in LaFleur, I think you put him in a lot of offense, like system. It's like he's a quarterback that I think could fit in a lot of these systems that are happening in the NFL. Ben Johnson?
Sure.
Brock Purdy and Ben, not that Jared Goff is not fantastic. I'm just saying, Brock Purdy's a guy. Nobody gives him enough credit for his actual talent and ability. They're always looking for reasons for him to be a bum. This Niners team has been disappointing, I think, on all accounts. Yeah. Now, injuries have obviously fallen into that, but even like watching them, it's not the same team. They're still in it. Yeah. Obviously, it's very low chance, but they are still in it. And what they did to the Bears, I don't think that's just the Bears stink. Maybe the Bears
look what the Bears did to the Detroit Lions literally the week before.
Yeah.
They were right in that game, and they held Detroit to, 17 points?
I think the Niners finally showed up.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think the Niners finally showed up for the first time all season. And let me tell them, he looked great. It was fun to watch.
Good squad.
We missed it this year.
Yeah, Greenlaw's back. They saw him breaking down the huddle yesterday.
Fun to watch. If he gets in there, it's like that Niners team, even though they still have a chance, I hope they get it, and it's a tiny chance because they're fun if they're going to continue to play like this.
But even so, with the way the Cardinals are playing right now, obviously the Seahawks have been on a little bit of run here, but their schedule to end is very tough. If the Niners win on Thursday night, they are right back in this thing.
And it's going to be fun to watch the people have to choke on their words.
No doubt.
Because, boy, Brock Purdy's been getting murdered. Mm-hmm. This Niners team's over. Shanahan and Lynch, these guys stink. Let's get them out of here. It's like, damn, have we forgot about this Niners team? They are a wagon. And then all of a sudden, Murphy's Law happens to them. Worst thing imaginable, and they lose. And it's like, well, how many Super Bowls you got? Same thing that's happened with Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, how many Super Bowls you got? I don't care what you do. In the end, only one team's going to win. I think the Niners, going into the season, before I knew Christian McCaffrey was injured, I think we all had him as a team that could go and do it. Yep. Now they're counted out completely. That's a nice chip on the shoulder for a team that's had a lot of success over the recent history. And the last thing that you think we should be talking about coming out of Week 14, MCDC's all grit. What does that mean, AQ?
It means the nuts that he had to make the decision that he did against the Green Bay Packers. This game was unbelievable to watch, first of all, but listen, he's going to kick this. They're in field goal range. There's 40-something seconds left. He does not want to give any time to Jordan Love based on how well he's played all year, right? So he says, Jared Goff, what do you want to do? Jared says, I want to go for it.
And then he goes back on the mic. He goes, Jared wants to go for it. Hey, we're going for it. That was a great sideline shot.
Great sideline. You heard Richard Sherman talk about it, but then we get this play. And who do you go behind when you need a yard? Penei Sewell. Let's watch this one more time. If we can get this back. Watch Penei Sewell for 50 seconds. Throws him, clears the hole. That's all you need. Game, set, match. Now we can run it down to 3 seconds, kick the game winner, get out of here, boys, and we are running the North.
Though, entire offensive line took this as a massive compliment for them to go for this.
100%. And they're doing this without Taylor Decker. They did it without Taylor Decker, who's their star left tackle. They're just like, we trust in Big Skip.
Here's the story that you were referring to, Richard Sherman. It was I saw it on the NFL social media account, originally from the Richard Sherman podcast.
He's having a conversation with all of us. And Whit was like, hey, what was the conversation like on the sideline before that 4th and 1? And Jared basically comes over and Dan's on the headset, telling him, hey, we're kicking it. And Jared, dejected, is like, man, I want to go. And Dan Campbell just looks at him and said, you want to do it?
Hey, man, we're going for it. Yep,
and then he changes his mind and goes for it.
They are going. And then Goff falls down, but Montgomery is able to pick up the first down. So Goff falls down as he's making the handoff. What a
Everybody's
call.
celebrating. Yeah, I mean, everybody's celebrating. Jared Goff falling, knowing that he's the reason why we're going for it. There was no way that ball wasn't going to get handed off there. I love that MCDC knows his team.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he listens to his team. And I like that he, even though he was facing a lot of criticism for that decision, even though they win that game, he says, like, I didn't want to give the ball back. Instead of saying, like, all my boys wanted to go, because then he'll be judged for being emotional and somebody's got to be the adult in the room, yada, yada, yada. I love the way MCDC coaches.
I love it too, and I love the fact that he just trusts the boys, right? Like, it's like, hey, whatever they say, I love this. And you live and die by what he's done his entire time coaching that team. And they go for it on fourth down. They go for it all the time on fourth down. So why stop now?
Well, I didn't like the one on their own 29 or 30, and that didn't work out. I think we all agree that
we can throw that one out.
Hindsight, that one was dumb. That one got the Packers back into the game.
Yeah.
There's been a few of those.
There's been a couple.
A fake punt that they didn't need the run or whatever that puts the other team back in it. It's like, okay, we're doing too much, which leads to some people saying whenever push comes to shove, he's going to make one of those decisions and they're going to lose from it. But I don't think they feel that way. And Jared Goff knew they were going to pick it up. You don't go over to the coach and say, let us do this if you don't think you're going to get it. Congrats to the Lions being a completely different team.
Yeah.